I'm a huge supporter of libraries. I'm on several library boards, and I think part of that is that I remember the first day I walked into the Perrott Library in Old Greenwich, Connecticut. This was back in the day where just for breathing, librarians would tell you to be quiet. And it was marble, and it smelled of paper and glue. And I went into a corner, and I just sat down on a little floor and grabbed books off of the shelf, and I left where I was. And I've never come back, and I've never been the same. For my first novel, Never Look Back, which was at the end of 8.5 years of writing 6 hours a day, I finally sold a novel. And Never Look Back was a spy thriller set in Canada. I'd never been a spy, I'd never been to Canada, but I took 82 books out of the library via library loan. So without libraries, I couldn't have written my first book. And I also, in my first library experience at the Perrott, I found Harold and His Purple Crayon. And Harold and His Purple Crayon has a little boy who can draw on walls, and everything he draws comes alive. And I suddenly realized that my imagination was a tool, and it was all through that book, and it was all because of libraries. Libraries have not only fostered a love of reading in me, but libraries have been a source of research for me for years and years, and they even may be the topic of a future thriller series I'm writing. Stay tuned. Oh my goodness. Well, my favorite librarian is my former wife, Colleen Daly, who was the director of the community library in Ketchum, Idaho for about 15 years. I go to the library regularly, usually to speak, and my family comes along, and they get lost in the aisles and pay no attention to what Daddy's doing, because Daddy's over in conference rooms C actually speaking, trying to sell books, trying to drum up readers for Ridley Pearson novels.
So what do they do while you're doing all that?
They read. They enjoy the library. They take advantage of all the services the library has to offer. The only place I think any tax money should go to is education and libraries. So any place else it's going, I think, is misspent money. I like roads, but people can build roads. You can't build a mine. I have thoughts on banned books. I think that there ought to be an institution in this country where anyone who bans a book goes and is banned for about a year. Can't see their family, can't read any books, can't see any entertainment. That would, to me, about solve it, because my favorite book in the world is To Kill a Mockingbird. I reread that book every year. I taught it when I taught in China. I taught creative writing in China, and I used To Kill a Mockingbird. And as I understand it, it is often on a banned book list. Now, it is perhaps the greatest book ever written in American, in the American opus of writers, in my opinion. And the idea that anyone would get the idea to ban that book means that person should be banned. Since I started writing for younger readers, I have multiple projects. So at the moment, I've just finished, I'm just about to finish a 6th book in the Kingdom Keepers series. There's one more after that. I've just finished the 2nd John Knox Grace Chu novel to follow the risk agent, called The Knot Shop. I'm contracted for 2 more of those, 3 books to Disney with Dave Barry, and 5 more Kingdom Keepers in various forms. So I'm contracted to write 8 or 9 books in the next 3 years, so I will have to say goodbye.